At precisely 4 a.m. Universal Time, October 3rd, the skies over Mars came alive. What was supposed to be a silent flyby of an interstellar wanderer became something that no one, not NASA, not ESA, not even the most seasoned astronomers, was prepared for. The object known as 3I Atlas, traveling through our solar system on a one-way trajectory from the depths of interstellar space, drifted past Mars at just 29 million kilometers away. Every camera, every probe, every sensor humanity had sent to the red planet turned its gaze toward the visitor. But what happened next would rewrite everything we thought we knew about comets, about space, and about the idea that we are alone. Because for the first time in recorded history, Mars didn't just watch the sky. It answered back. The event began quietly. The comet appeared as a dim emerald glow against the dark, a thin halo of gas shimmering faintly behind it. For a few precious minutes, the data coming in from orbiters seemed routine. Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, Mars Express, MAVEN, and the Trace Gas Orbiter all confirmed the same readings. But then the brightness began to grow, not gradually but exponentially, as though a switch had been flipped somewhere deep inside the nucleus. Spectrometers recorded eruptions of gas unlike anything ever observed before. Not the familiar plumes of water vapor, but sharp bursts of cyanogen and carbon dioxide, elements that should have remained frozen solid in the cold of space. The comet's surface temperature spiked, its coma expanded rapidly, and the energy output surged beyond predicted limits. Scientists scrambled to recalibrate their instruments, watching as the readings grew stranger by the minute. It wasn't behaving like a rock of ice. It was behaving like something that knew it was being watched. And then, in the middle of the chaos, the first auroras appeared. Mars, with its thin atmosphere and fragmented magnetic field, almost never produces auroras. Yet that night, ultraviolet sensors detected light waves cascading across its entire night side, ribbons of purple, green, and crimson swirling together in electric motion. The glow wasn't caused by solar wind, as no solar flare had been recorded. The only possible trigger was 3I Atlas itself. For hours, Mars's upper atmosphere pulsed and shimmered in synchronization with the comet's position. To observers, it looked like a cosmic dance, a celestial heartbeat connecting two worlds. On the surface, the Perseverance rover captured faint flashes across the horizon, while Curiosity's radiation detector registered inexplicable microbursts of charged particles. Even the long-dormant InSight seismometer, though buried under dust, registered a vibration, an electromagnetic hum rippling through the Martian ground. The data was irrefutable. Mars was responding to something. Whether that something came from the comet or from within itself, no one could say. But for the first time, the red planet wasn't silent. It was singing. Moments after the auroras reached their peak, something else began to happen. Fragments started breaking off from 3I Atlas's glowing nucleus. Spacecraft high above Mars recorded glittering shards spiraling outward like metallic snowflakes, drifting through the void. But instead of dispersing randomly, the fragments twisted in symmetrical arcs, moving as if guided by invisible threads. Scientists called it spiral shedding, but the movement was too precise to be natural. Every piece seemed to turn in coordination, as though obeying a shared command. Some observers even suggested the fragments were adjusting their orientation, aligning themselves with the planet's magnetic poles before drifting away. Then the Trace Gas Orbiter detected a sudden, inexplicable spike in methane, a chemical that had long puzzled scientists on Mars. The timing was exact. The surge began at the very moment the comet passed overhead. The question was no longer if 3I Atlas affected Mars, but how? Had the interstellar object seeded the planet with exotic compounds, or had it awakened something ancient, buried beneath the dust, waiting for a signal to return? Then came the sound, faint, steady, and impossible, a low rhythmic hum pulsing every 22 seconds. NASA engineers first dismissed it as interference, but when ESA's Mars Express picked up the exact same pattern from a completely different vantage point, the skepticism evaporated. Two spacecraft, two instruments, identical timing. The hum persisted for nearly an hour, resonating just below audible frequencies. To the untrained ear, it would have been nothing more than static, but to the experts, it was an anomaly that defied random explanation. Officially, agencies blamed plasma resonance, a natural interaction between Mars' crust and the comet's charged tail. Unofficially, whispers spread through mission control rooms. Some said it was feedback, a response to the electromagnetic probes we'd sent out to monitor the comet. Others believed it was a beacon. Whatever it wasn't random. The hum ended as abruptly as it began, leaving Mars eerily quiet once again. But one thing was certain. Something had passed between the planet and the object. Something real, measurable, and perhaps intentional. When dawn finally broke over the Martian horizon, the planet was not the same. The faint green shimmer that had illuminated its night side had faded, but the instruments left behind on the surface told a different story. The Perseverance rover recorded chemical anomalies in the thin atmosphere, traces of compounds that shouldn't exist outside laboratory synthesis, carbon isotopes mismatched in ratio, particles aligned in magnetic directions that defied local geology, and an unexplained drop in ambient radiation, as if something had absorbed it overnight. The methane spike detected earlier had vanished, but what replaced it was stranger. A consistent pattern of microelectrical discharges rising from the ground itself, forming invisible webs across the planet's plains. To mission analysts, it looked almost like circuitry, natural formations responding to energy. Residual plasma effects, they called it. But others whispered about activation. Something had been awakened on Mars, something small, subtle, but deliberate. The planet seemed to be remembering something. And whatever 3i Atlas had done, it had left Mars humming alive in a way it hadn't been for billions of years. Far beyond Mars, stationed at Lagrange Point 2, the James Webb Space Telescope finally regained a clear view of the interstellar visitor as it drifted away from the red planet. When its infrared sensors locked onto the object, the data that came back silenced even the most skeptical minds. The comet's temperature wasn't decreasing as expected, it was rising. Its inner layers, supposedly frozen for eons, were radiating in pulses, as though something inside was generating controlled bursts of heat. The spectroscopy readings were even more bizarre. Compounds of diatomic carbon and cyanogen, arranged in perfect harmonic ratios, repeating at intervals that resembled coded sequences. The scientists in charge of analysis debated for hours. No natural process could sustain such precision. And then came another shock. A faint electromagnetic echo detected not from the comet's tail, but from the surrounding void. It was as if the light itself was bouncing off an invisible structure that shouldn't be there. Webb's imaging team enhanced the data and revealed a pattern. 3 concentric spirals of ionized particles rotating slowly, perfectly aligned with the comet's path. The question everyone asked next was simple. Who or what was controlling it? While Webb continued its observation, ground-based telescopes began to report something extraordinary. The green hue of 3i Atlas had intensified, not randomly but rhythmically. Long-exposure photographs taken from Chile and South Africa revealed that the brightness was pulsing in exact synchronization with the 22-second signal that had been recorded by the Mars orbiters days before. It was as if the object was sending a message back, not to Mars this time, but outward. Radio astronomers detected faint modulations in the background noise, hidden deep beneath the cosmic static. When filtered and translated into sound, the pattern formed a slow, haunting resonance, a pulse that seemed to accelerate and decelerate, almost like breathing. Some thought it was plasma interaction. Others speculated it was intelligent modulation. But there was one undeniable fact. The signal repeated itself every time the comet aligned with a planetary magnetic field. It had happened with Mars, and now it was approaching Earth's orbital lane. If the pattern continued, our planet would soon become the next target of that rhythm, a cosmic heartbeat slowly growing louder,